Most onboarding feels like orientation, and that's exactly why new hires often check out before they ever ramp up. I'm John Pike, and I design powerful onboarding that elevates productivity and retention from day one. In this session, I'll share how elite teams personalize onboarding to boost loyalty, performance, and increase retention. In most organizations, onboarding is an afterthought, a logistical checklist to be completed after the excitement of the hire fades. But what if onboarding wasn't a procedural task, but a transformational moment? What if it was designed not just to orient, but to affirm their identity, to instill loyalty, to affirm, to encourage, to uplift, and to activate their strengths from the very first day? This is the purpose of personalized onboarding. It's the ninth pillar in a system built on precision, and it's where everything we've diagnosed, benchmarked, and aligned finally meets the human experience. It transforms onboarding from generic orientation on where to find the stapler and filling out your forms to get paid into strategic activation. What is personalized onboarding? Personalized onboarding customizes the new hire's journey through the lens of their talent DNA and matches their role. It ensures that from the very first day, there's alignment between who they are wired to be and how they can excel in terms of what the job requires. Precision hiring ensures candidate role fit is sustained into actual work. Role optimization, connecting wiring to real-world responsibilities and workflows. Talent benchmarking, building onboarding plans against performance standards. This isn't a one-size-fits-all orientation. It's probably the most crucial part of the new hire ramping system. This onboarding session is calibrated to each new hire's predispositions, capabilities, innate abilities, strengths, talents within their team context. From paperwork to purpose, a successful new hire doesn't happen when the contract is signed. It begins the moment they click on the job ad. Yet most onboarding programs start after the hiring is done, and typically new team members are treated like widgets. Same welcome, same schedule, same content, with little to no personal customization according to the uniqueness of the individual. The traditional onboarding process is painfully predictable. Paperwork, a tour, maybe a training manual. It assumes that assimilation is about logistics rather than belonging and specifically how they fit in. At best, it equips. At worst, it's disorienting. In either case, it fails to address the human needs under the role. The consequence? New hires feel like they do at every other job. They feel like transactions, not valuable people or teammates. Full engagement was never created. Your expected time to productivity for the new person is lengthened. Loyalty evaporates before it even has a chance to form. Contrast that with a system where the first interaction after the signing of the offer is a high trust, data rich, extremely accurate based on time-tested proven science, and including that and embedding that into the onboarding session, which is kind of focused on their unique wiring. An experience where they're not just welcomed, but they're deeply seen and deeply understood. Data-driven affirmation. A powerful onboarding experience begins with something radical, scientific data that affirms this person. The onboarding session now becomes much more powerful. It becomes a distilled roadmap of the new hire's top traits, motivators, communication preferences, and innate talents derived from the psychometric assessment. Rather than merely handing them a desk and manual, the manager walks through a step-by-step roadmap with them, outlining specifically why they were hired based on the scientific data. And that it's not a matter of if they're going to be successful, but how successful. Specifically, how their strengths are going to translate into early wins, what their ideal environment looks like so that we can create the most compelling working environment, how they and their manager can communicate in the most effective manner, what blind spots might emerge based on differences, and how to mitigate them. This isn't just informative, it's transformative. The session functions like a personal mirror, helping the new hire see themselves more clearly and more fully, and also feel more valued. Mutual understanding is accelerated, and the sense of connection is enhanced. Emotional safety is created, and performance clarity is installed from day one. Why self-awareness accelerates performance? One of the most overlooked aspects of onboarding is the role of self-awareness. Most people don't know their core strengths, let alone how to use them. As a result, they spend the majority of their time trying to fix weaknesses or survive misfit roles that drains their energy. Personalized onboarding completely flips this. It begins with awareness and not assumptions. The new hire is shown with data and context why they are an incredibly strong fit and why they are going to thrive. They are encouraged to be themselves, to be authentic, but with strategic clarity. This is more than motivational, it's measurable. Gallup research shows that employees who receive strength-based feedback experience 15% lower turnover, 8.9% higher profitability, and 12.5% greater productivity. This isn't theory, it's operational leverage. Co-designing culture, not dictating it. One of the most powerful aspects of personalized onboarding is mutual discovery. Onboarding, the new hire learns about their manager's personality traits, motivators, and innate talents in addition to their own. Side by side, they compare communication styles, feedback preferences, and motivational patterns. This isn't just helpful, it's culture in action. Trust is accelerated because each person or party sees the other as a full human being, not just a functional role. Miscommunications are minimized, assumptions are replaced with understanding. The act of onboarding becomes a ritual of trust building, not just orientation or some training. The emotional connection formed in the first week on the job often determines whether an employee becomes a lifer or leaves in less than 12 months. Personalized onboarding ensures that the first week isn't just functional, it's formative. Onboarding versus inboarding. It's important to note this isn't just for new hires. The same process that accelerates the productivity of a new teammate can unlock dormant potential in existing staff. Inboarding applies the same personalized methodology to current employees, and it often reveals hidden superstars languishing either in the wrong role or working against the natural grain. Inboarding is the best and surest method to achieve the largest and quickest return on investment when training your existing staff. Often, team members are overlooked as potential top performers simply because they have not been given the opportunity to shine or are busy working in a different department. Investing in your team by having personal meetings to highlight their strengths and innate talents shows them that you value their contributions and are committed to their success, which can increase employee engagement and retention. When inboarding is implemented, engagement spikes. People feel seen, not boxed in. They stop trying to fit the job description and start bringing their full selves to work. By focusing on what makes someone unique, not just how they conform. You create a working relationship grounded in clarity and trust. That alone shortens the onboarding time, reduces turnover, and improves the manager-employee relationship exponentially. Why generic onboarding fails? Most onboarding programs assume everyone learns the same way. They provide redundant, irrelevant content. They focus on compliance over capability. They launch with a flood of information and have very little follow-through or follow-up. This leads to cognitive overload and stress, misunderstood role expectations, siloed knowledge and weak peer ties, prolonged unproductivity, early disengagement, and exit. On the other hand, conversely, personalized onboarding completely flips the script. It recognizes every new hire as an individual with unique wiring, strengths, and context. It's not just a process. It's an activation protocol designed to turn raw potential into immediate performance. The team that builds itself. The true brilliance of a personalized onboarding system is not just in the precision, it's in the autonomy that it creates. As a founder or business owner, your goal is not to manage every onboarding interaction. Your goal is to architect a system where onboarding excellence happens without your direct involvement. This is where the system becomes scalable and also freeing. Imagine this. Your new hire isn't welcomed by a generic HR checklist, but by a manager who is deeply fluent in psychometric language. They walk through the new teammates' assessment results with care, referencing not just the traits and wiring, but also specifically how they align to the actual role and team dynamics. It's a high trust, high relevance conversation, and you didn't have to run it. Even better, the system enables peer-to-peer onboarding. Every veteran teammate from other departments can reference shared language from psychometric reports, help new hires interpret strengths, and communicate effectively with each other day one. The team becomes its own onboarding engine, cross-pollinating clarity, accelerating cohesion, compounding cultural alignment. Your job is simple. Read the manager's onboarding notes, glance at the documented takeaways, scan for wiring gaps that may need future attention, and if you want to deepen that trust even further, meet with your new teammate and share your own psychometric data. When owners and entrepreneurs and senior leaders model transparency by revealing their own wiring and communication preferences and blind spots, it helps to collapse hierarchy and build psychological safety. Suddenly, the new hire doesn't feel like a subordinate trying to prove themselves. Instead, they feel like a valued contributor in a culture that acknowledges self-awareness and honesty from the very top down. This isn't just onboarding. It's culture transfer at scale without your constant oversight. The strategic impact. The data is unequivocal. Organizations with strong onboarding processes improve new hire retention by 82% and productivity by over 70%. Let that sink in for a moment, and the power and significance of those optics. Improving new hire retention by 82% and productivity by over 70% by how you get the relationship started, how you acknowledge, affirm, uplift, encourage, and set clear expectations in terms of how you're going to communicate with them, what it is that motivates them, and how their natural talents and strengths can contribute to the organization. Personalized onboarding turns that data into reality. It reduces time to productivity, it increases emotional engagement, and it builds a durable foundation of trust that strengthens culture over time. In a world where resumes still dominate and training manuals still reign supreme, this isn't just a better way to onboard. It's a sustained competitive advantage that very few have the knowledge of being able to replicate.